Okay, thank you. Hello everyone, we are broadcasting from Gulf Force, California. Thank you all for joining us. Time really flies. It's almost the end of the year. We're about 2-3 weeks away from starting our winter cheese. It starts with a 4 chi, 1 week 4 chi, and I think 10 weeks of Chan chi. We look forward to it. It's rather intensive sort of training, but it's very, very special, very beneficial for the participants. Why is that? When you join a class like this, you get the benefits of practicing with us for an hour or two. Whereas when you join us at the Chan Chi, the 4 Chi, you can imagine how much more intensive it is. It's about 10 times more intensive. And it's really worked because it's not talk. It's about here in America, thank you, we don't have the same tradition as in Asia where the Chan Chis and the Chis are well-established vehicles for training people and for making huge transformation in people. Here in the US, we don't have that tradition. That's why it's very rare to be able to find a place that would have this history like we've been doing. We've been doing this for something like 17 years. Okay? Each year, at the end of the year, we do the cheese because it helps, very helpful for your improvements. Okay, so we hope you will join us for 1 day, 2 days, or 1 week, 2 weeks, and so forth. It's a rare thing. And plus next year we will cut it back because we have a lot more going and it's busier for us. And so we decided to reduce the length of the chi a little bit, all right, to make it more manageable for you, because apparently people are running out of time, and they don't have time to take a month off, let alone 2 months off. That's just too much. All right, so we hope that you will join us. Again, it's well worth it. Trust me, it's rather demanding, but it has helped a lot of people improve. If you hang in there and you bear with us, bear with it, you get really immense benefits. Okay. Fundamentally, we're doing the Chan because because it's the core practice, the core training methodology for us, from our sages, from the ancient sages, Chinese sages, on how to train the next generation. This is the most important skill set and training vehicle for the Mahayana Buddhists. Okay? It's not just for Buddhists, but also for everyone. We don't discriminate. You don't have to be Buddhist, and you to learn Chan and practice Chan. And we don't discriminate at all. If you are able and you're willing to learn, we will train you. Okay? And no restrictions. Okay? And when you do this, you will get benefits right away, meaning that every time you sit for an hour, you practice for an hour, your body is healthier. The body changes. And the more skilled you are, the healthier you will become naturally. How does it work? It works at the core, where if you go to the gym, you exercise, your muscles get healthier, get bigger. Yes? But here with Chan, it's not at muscle level. It's at your marrow level, bone marrow level. Think about it. Can you think of any sort of practice you know of that will affect that at the deep level of your health? Okay? And so I'm curious, why is it yellow? Kind of faint. Is this Chinese TV? Return it. Samsung, the angle makes it look weird. It should be red, but I see it as pink. Do you see it as pink too? Yeah. It's off. The color is off. It's Costco, right? Return it. I forgot to tell you. The angle is very important because we have to look from different angle. And so the Samsung are not good with the angles. The Sonys are better. Okay. All right, sorry about that. Where was I? It's actually, fundamentally, we are not taught. Our parents, our teachers don't stress the core fundamentals. If you don't take care of your health, both physical and mental, how are you going to have a quality of life? And health must be earned, must be preserved, can be improved. No one ever told you that because they don't know how. Okay? When I learned Chan years ago, I made a mistake. I only meditated. And after 20 years of meditation, I started developing problems. One day I started playing tennis again with a friend of mine, and I discovered my left shoulder was hurting and was sore for 3 or 4 days. And I realized that my muscle atrophied because I didn't use it. You see? So now I encourage my students, my disciples to do both Chan and physical exercise because that's the balance. Okay? And so it's very important for you to take care of the fundamentals. Okay? You have to take care of your health first. And you need to do something about it. And you can choose, you have different options, menu options. You have things like, Tai Chi. I like Tai Chi. I happen to like Tai Chi. I happen to like martial arts. I happen to like a lot of like yogas and so forth. They're very, very useful. Okay. Good luck to you. It looks like we lost a person here already. So busy, huh? Wow, so stressful. But Chan would give you is far more beneficial. But its weakness is that it still needs to be complemented with physical exercise. Okay, so please don't neglect that. If you do that, I feel that you'll be a lot better off. All right. Any questions or comments? It's wonderful here to have this community practitioners throughout the world. We have, this is the Asia time, of course. This is why we're doing this on the odd hours here, where we try to, this is about 9 a.m. in Korea, okay? So we try to make ourselves available, accessible to people in Asia, because as part of my trying to show my gratitude to my Chinese teacher, without the Asian support, my Chinese teachers, Dharma, the Vietnamese teachers allowing me to become a monk, fully ordained, so that I can teach, and without the Taiwanese supporting me for a few years in Taiwan to learn their precepts, I wouldn't be able to be here today. So in the back of my mind, I always wanted to do something to repay those kindnesses. And so I'm grateful that we are able to do this together. And more importantly, I'm very happy to see that you all are improving steadily. It's wonderful to see. Okay? Again, this is, we are in the United States in the 21st century, so you can talk all you want, but we need to show results. And the results is about you. Is about, all this is designed to help you improve, help you become better and healthier and develop your wisdom. Yes? So feel free to ask questions anytime. Okay, this is a very important part of the training, by the way. Meditation, the way we teach it, is simply not sitting. It's not simply just the physical part, the bodily training. It's more importantly, it's your mind's training. Okay, and that's why these talks are designed to help you progress a lot quicker than otherwise. And that's I'm saying that because of the comparison of what's happening at my Chinese masters' temples. They don't have live talks like this, and that's why they don't. Their progress is like a snail's pace, whereas you are scary. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. And we are at different levels, from low to very high, and so don't worry and don't feel any pressure. You should express yourself and your doubts, any question you might have, because it's beneficial for everyone. Okay. Yeah. Yes,
Hello.
sir. 6.
Yeah, I'm beginner, and during the chant, especially during the meditation, what we have to do? Should we concentrate our breath, or should we think about the question from Master? What we have to do?
What do you have to do? Well, welcome. I'm glad you joined us. We have an introductory chant class. So what's important about for you who are new to chant is you need to be exposed to our style of training. It's very different, actually, in a lot of ways. And they're different when you start out. As you improve, it's different. It doesn't matter. The way we train you is very different from the original Chinese style of chant training. Okay, because in my younger days, I felt I had something to prove. Because the Chinese, my master's temples, rejected me and said, "This is not a real Chan. So I set out to prove that, yes, it's not real your Chinese Chan, but it produces better results than your Chinese Chan.
When is the introductory class?
I'm sorry?
When is the introductory class?
When is that? What is the introduction class here? Huh? Usually it's Saturday morning, okay? But however, since you're here, you can make appointments. Those of you who have more time or happen to be here, you can make appointments or ask someone here, and we'll be glad to sit down with you and talk to you. Chan is individual tutoring, it's individual teaching, training. We pay attention to each and every one of you. And it turns out that we have enough competent teachers here to be able to do that. And moreover, what you also have is community people who are at various levels. And so they are able to share with you their experiences. Okay. All right. So for you, you should talk to I don't know, but none here in the back. Yeah. Okay. And get more information. Okay. All right. You're welcome. Anyone else? Yes.
Master, I want to ask a question about children's meditation.
Yes.
So, like Thai has been able to sit like long sit for a while, but he doesn't really meditate at home, and he seems to be having trouble like sit still for like a minute, more than a minute or 10 seconds. I don't know. He cannot really cross his legs and be like really be still for like. Yeah. So I'm just wondering, is this is it like, should we expect children to be able to like meditate a little bit, like sit meditation, or is this just kind of too demanding for children who are always just active and wants to run around and do something?
All right. Good question. How should we? This is a question that that's very important that we need to address. So for adults, it's clear for us. When you teach your Chan, you see the results because you get the health and you get the rest for your mind, and your mind is brighter and faster and stronger and so forth. So you see the benefits right away in your lives, okay? And to see more and more beneficial, you see how much more you can do as your skills improve. Okay? And life is much more interesting. The better you become, the more what we call wonderful life becomes to you. It doesn't stop there. Okay? Wherever you are right now, let me tell all of you, okay, you ain't seen nothing yet. There's so much more for you to discover about yourself, what you're capable of. Okay? What about children? Well, we don't care for children, let's be honest about it. It takes too long. Okay? So, children, okay, my attitude is very French, laissez-faire. You know what that means? Let it be, let it be. Let them, leave them alone. Yeah. They will develop their own interests. Okay, so for children, meditation is not about sitting still. It's about according with what interests them. The idea is to encourage them to meditate, okay? And the objective is to instill in them this time, that quiet time here, where they should develop the habit, the skill to cross the legs and calm the mind down. Even if they're moving, they're fidgeting, it's okay. The mind is still calmer when they cross the legs, okay? And that's a very important reference point for them in the future. In the future, as they get older, they will find life to be forever more stressful, more overwhelming. And at some point in time, they will see, oh, I need to calm myself down. And that's the only way, is to cross the legs. And for that alone is well worth. We are putting up with them, whatever they want to do, and they want to scream around, make noises, break the walls, break Sennheiser wireless. Okay, it's part of the investment in them. Okay, whatever they feel like doing, okay, that's okay. Okay, so expectation for children is zero. Okay, whatever it takes to make them enjoyable of enjoying themselves at the temple. And that part of the process there, we are actually exposing them to what good adults are supposed to be like. You see, it's so important. The unspoken rule is that what we do for them is act as role models for them. They need it. It's so important. You know, you remember when you look back in your life, who was a role model? Without a role model, we struggle so much. We don't know what's proper, what's the right thing, what is desirable or not. I personally struggled with that until I found my role model in Master YongHua, a Chinese monk, very short. And yet, I say, wow, that's the kind of man I like to become. And so when the children come to the temple, they're exposed to all of you, okay? And that's why we're stressing kindness and compassion. That's as a baseline where the children can observe us, how we interact, how we behave, okay, towards each other, towards them. And that's a very important aspect of Chan cultivation for children, okay? And so whatever it is, because we have limited resources and manpower in particular, we don't have enough programs, so children in particular. You go to a church, for example, they would hire a young lady who is still in college, who's studying child development and psychology and so forth, to spend time with the children while the parents, do the masses and so forth, participate in the service. We don't have such luxury, but on the other hand, they mingle with us. There's space for them to play around and make noises and so forth, and that's good enough. Okay. Any other ideas or suggestions? Okay. They're learning. They're seeing role models. They're learning. They're being exposed to good people, if you will. Okay? Baseline is that for us, in order for you to make it in the long haul, your heart has to become bigger and bigger. That's our emphasis. The people who drop out usually are the ones whose heart are kind of debatable. Their value systems are the clash with the goodness in a value system we instill. Okay, meditation, Chan meditation, spiritual practices are supposed to elevate your spirits. Okay, and there are some people, I can think of several down south, and whose value systems are not good enough for us, if you will. So the longer you stick around, it transforms you. Okay, the spiritual path will transform you and elevate your soul, if you will, or open your heart. And that's why there are good influences for the children. So it doesn't matter for me personally. I don't care what the children do, as long as they come and we try to make it as pleasant for them as possible. Okay, but they're too young to expect them to sit still. If you find someone like that, then he'll probably be destined to become a monk. Okay? Yeah. All right. Any other questions? Yes, one.
Thank you, Master. Welcome back. It's good to see you and Xianxin Shi in Go Forest.
Yeah, I want you to know we did stop by Taipei.
Oh, nice. My question is, I recently learned about sleeping during sitting. Is it recommended, or how to practice it without losing the point of developing concentration? Thank you.
Question about what?
Sleeping during sitting.
Sleeping during your sits.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a natural process. It's not, don't be so worried about sleeping or staying awake. Can I turn the problem around by saying that, by pointing out to you that this training is about your struggling. So, for example, if you feel sleepy and when you are meditating, you know you're supposed to meditate, and yet you feel sleepy. So what do? Ordinary people, they would just lie down and go to rest, right? And say, okay, maybe I rest first. But for us, we fight the sleepiness. And if we fall asleep, so be it. But when we wake up, we fight. We don't say, I'm going to lie down and rest. Okay? That's during this time period, where that hour of sits where you committed yourself to do, that's when you fight. You don't let go. Outside of that, lie down and rest. It's okay. But during the sits, if you feel sleepy, fight the sleepiness. That's all. Very simple. Okay? It's supposed to be difficult for you. It's supposed to be a struggle somewhere. Pleasant means death. The children, they allow them to have a good time because they're not dying, they're growing. Okay? But for us, we no longer are growing, we're dying. Our bodies are dying. Your bodies are dying, like it or not. Okay? And unless you do something about it, the scientists have no clues on what to do to slow down your dying, your decay. The best way to deal with your decay is Chan. If you improve, you are slowing down your decay. You're extending your life. No two ways about it. You from one level to the next level, okay, your life is extended, extended, extended. That's how it is. Okay, so it's well worth it for you to fight for it. And the more struggle it is, the more you get out of it. Okay? So it's not about success. It's about struggling. It's not about sitting there and being comfortable and so forth. It's about, I don't like this. Okay? It's so hard. Why do you have to, why am I doing this again? Okay? You have doubts in your mind. That's called internal struggle. And yet you don't quit. You keep at it. And you see why eventually. Okay? Because you remember all of you who used to struggle so much, and you said, why am I doing this? All of you went through that, right? Why am I doing this again? Does it make sense? And when I could be working and making more money, and so forth, and after you overcome that thing, that struggle, because you can overcome. You are proving to yourself you can overcome it yourself. And that's when you discover a new self, what you are really capable of. Yes, go ahead, Yang Min.
Hello, Master.
Hello.
我想问一个和我妹妹关系的问题，就是大概10个月前，我从其他人那里知道我妹妹说了一些话，然后这些话让我觉得很受伤害，然后就更加的激起了我就是可能以前比较压抑的一些情绪，就是我会觉得过去的30多年，我为他付出了很多的时间和精力，然后但是我没有从他那里感觉到他是知道感恩的，然后所以这10个多月其实我们俩没有太多的联系，见面也是很少说话，然后我就会觉得我其实是有一些恨他的，然后觉得他怎么可以那么的活得那么自私和自我，然后同时我也挺就是我恨他，也让我自己也很难受。我想要放下，就是我对他的恨，但是好像很难，然后也每次想到他的时候就会很有情绪，然后我也会觉得恨我自己，就是好像过去30多年就这么被他利用，被他欺负，然后现在意识到了，我也放不下就是这些东西，就会让我觉得很困扰。
Okay. So what?
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I have a question about my sister. 10 months ago, I heard about things she said about me from others that hurts me a lot. And it triggered a lot of emotions that I had with her for the past 30 years that they've been suppressed. And I felt that she was not grateful about a lot of things I did for her, the time and the effort I spent on her. Therefore, for the past 10 months, I haven't been talking to her much, interacting with her. And I feel that every time I think about this, I have hatred towards her, and feels that how come she can be so selfish. I want to let go of these emotions, but it's very difficult, and I'm not able to let it go.
Okay. Is she new with us? Is she new
She's
to
been
China?
with us for 6 months. 杨敏，你跟我们修了多久
7个月。
？7 months.
7 months. That long, huh? How long can she sit?
杨敏现在可以做多久？
Full lotus.
双盘。
现在每天能做至少一个60分钟，然后最长做过3个半小时。
At least 1 hour daily, and the longest she sat 3.5 hours.
Okay. Very good. It's quite commonplace. I hear this often, and it happened to me as well, that the people we care for, our siblings, our parents, our family members, have a way of hurting us a lot more than others. Yes, they're important to us. We love them dearly, and because of that, occasionally we do get hurt a lot. Okay, and I'm glad that she's able to share with us openly about this. Okay, and if it bothers her, is because it really hurts. Yes, those words that the sister said about her really hurt her, and it's very hard for her to let go of that. All right, it's understandable. If she wants to deal with this better, she should try to sit longer. That's what it takes. Okay, she should sit. After 7 months, she can sit for an hour, and that's still not enough to be able to overcome this issue. She should speed it up. She should go for longer and longer sits. Okay, that's the goal, because the longer sits will help her build more resilience and endure more pain. Okay, and with that, the consequence is that the hurt from her sister's past words will not hurt as much anymore. You see that? If you endure more leg pains, the more you endure, the more their hurt from the words will not will not sting as much as before. Okay, that's at the physical and psychological side. Okay, meaning that you're training yourself to endure more and more discomfort. Right now, let me put it this way. Right now, your ability to endure discomfort is much. Okay, and the hurt from your sister's past words are this much. Therefore, it's still very difficult for you to endure it. If you endure the leg pains, forget about her words for now. Okay? Endure the leg pain. Now you increase your sits, meaning you have to endure more discomfort, more pain, and more and more. You see what happens here? Now you see the relative difference here. The relative intensity, the relative hurt will be lessened every time you sit longer and longer and longer and longer. That's first. And eventually, when you do that, also another thing happens as well. Eventually, you'll be able to find in your heart to forgive her. That's the objective. It will naturally happen. When you practice Chan, one day, I promise you, you'll be able to forgive your sister. Right now you can't. One day you will. It's possible. Okay? I speak from personal experience. I was hurt deeply by people even outside of my family, people inside my family, and throughout the years I was able to forgive them. Okay? Without having to kill them. All right? It will happen. Don't worry. All right? Thank you for your question. Next.
Thank you, Master.
Tech JMT. Go ahead.
마스터께 질문드립니다. 감사합니다, 마스터. 세 가지 무시, 재보시, 법보시, 무회시, 보시 수행의 중요성을 여러 번 말씀하셨는데 무회시는 저희가 구체적으로 어떻게 수행해야 하나요?
I have a question to Master. Thank you, Master. You talked about three givings, which is giving of wealth, giving of Dharma, and giving of fearlessness. And I want to know, how can we practice the giving of fearlessness?
Okay. Giving, the three forms of giving, the giving of wealth, the giving of Dharma, and the giving of fearlessness. Okay, very good. How do you practice giving of fearlessness? And let's back up. Why do we need to focus on fearlessness as well? Right? Yeah. Because if it's not important, why did the Buddha teach us that we need to give fearlessness? All right. And how do you give fearlessness? Very, very simple. Fearlessness is, first of all, this is what a natural thing, when you see a child being scared, okay, you come over and comfort him or her, yes? It's a natural instinct for us. We see someone who's helpless, who need help, who's scared, we like to help them. Because think about it, for all of us, I don't care who you are, for all of us, there will be time in our lives when we are at the end of our rope and we are so desperate. We say, oh, God, help me. Oh, Allah helps me. Oh, Buddha helps me. Oh, whatever. It's whoever helps us. Okay? And therefore, because we are desperate, we fear, this paralyzing fear that grips us, and we can't function anymore. We don't know what else to do. And therefore, in those moments, actually, when you step up, you have a chance to help those people, whether it's listening to them. You don't necessarily have to solve the problems, but sometimes for them, a very important part of the helping, the giving of fearlessness is to be there and listen, let them vent. Okay? Why? It's because this angst, this fear is actually paralyzing. It builds up mentally inside. And it is so important that they need to release. This is what people seem to overlook. You don't necessarily have to give them a solution, help them. Okay, your help is by being there and showing concerns and listening to them, give them a chance to vent. Okay? And you say, why are you so scared? Why are you so fearful? And for them to talk about it, it actually helps them reduce the intensity, to release it. Okay? Without the release of their fear, they will mentally, they build it up. It keeps them building up to the point where they go crazy, and they can't take it. They do stupid things. And so the help, the giving of fearlessness is about, number one to me, it's about releasing, help them release, okay? Help them vent. We're not talking about anyone can do that. All of us can do that, okay? You help them vent. It's so important that for all of us to sometimes have to bounce ideas off others. Okay, you see, if I'm gripped with fear and paralyzed with fear, so it's very helpful for me to vent it out and then to hear you give me feedback and see it from your perspective. It's very, very beneficial. All right, that's the first thing you can do. A very important thing. And number two is if you have skills, for example, in our hands and eyes, the transmission we give to you, there is a hand called number 7, that's giving a fearlessness. It does magic. You can, because when they grip with fear and they're so paralyzed, they don't know what to do, you can recite that, okay? And that will give them relief, makes them less fearful. Okay? So you can help. Okay? I'm not talking about you doing it indiscriminately. I'm talking about when you have some skills and you say, okay, this person, I feel it's necessary for me to do something before he goes crazy and does something stupid, okay, and hurt himself or hurt others. And then you have certain skills that you can develop that you might want to consider, especially when it pertains to someone you love, someone close to you, and so forth. And then it may make sense. And then another aspect of it is that if you have some real skills, you have the wisdom, and then you're able to resolve the root cause of the fear. Okay, help them understand why they shouldn't have to be fearful, and help them overcome their fear. Okay, and so that's what depending on your level or your skill level, you can do more and more. Actually, so the more skilled you are, the stronger you are, the more you can help the people. And it is very beneficial in that I started earlier by telling you about how important we are, how important you are in your spiritual practice, because I look at all of you and I see you as pillars in your communities. You are a pillar in your communities because of your mental strength. Okay, and the fact that that you give them reference points on which is the proper direction for their lives. Okay, we grow up believing or being taught that we're supposed to be successful, we're supposed to take care of ourselves. This is just the exact opposite. We're supposed to take care of ourselves in order to help others. This is what Chan is about. If you have that kind of heart, you'll be fine. If you grow up and you live your life as only worrying about yourself and me, you'll have an unhappy life, guaranteed. It doesn't work. It has never worked throughout the history of mankind. Okay, and yet, our parents were not taught that. Our teachers are not taught that. And that's terrible disservice. Okay, so in other hand, if you practice Chan here and with us, I see you as a pillar and becoming a much bigger, much more important pillar of your communities, of your societies. And that's what you are doing quietly for your family, for your friends, for your neighbors, so forth, okay? Quietly, no one knows. That's what we stand for. We help, okay? And that right there is actually you are giving a gift of fearlessness, okay? People have reference points. They said, this is the proper way to go. I should not be afraid to go in that direction because of that role model that I saw in Master YongHua. Okay, that's so important. Otherwise, we become fearful for the wrong reasons. Okay, and so the giving fearlessness is that another aspect of it is that you may be a shoulder for people to lean on when they're in trouble. They know they can lean on you. I have a high school friend who doesn't talk to me. He's rich and he's successful, but the only time he texts me, he says, "I think I'm in big trouble. Can we play tennis?" That's the only time he calls me. Only when he's in trouble, that's when he reaches out to me. Okay, otherwise, he's too happy, he's too busy, making money and so forth. And so you see, quietly, we are helping. Okay, anything anyone else would like to add about giving and fearlessness? Okay. Any other questions? Yes, in the back.
So Diego asked in the chat says, Amitabha Master, I think the first question was about sit-sleep. To sit whole night and to sleep while you're sitting the whole night, what are the benefits in doing it?
Sit-sleeping is not for everyone. I don't recommend it for married people. Okay? If you sit-sleep when you're married, you're asking for a divorce. If you want to get divorced, do that. If you don't sit-sleep. Okay. The sit-sleeping, one of the big things that Master YongHua taught us, his left home people, disciples, is sit-sleep, because he realized that his left home disciples were Caucasians and they have high sexual desire. So sit-sleeping is very good at lowering sexual desires. Okay? And that's why I don't recommend if you're married. Is that clear? So it's for a reason we train our people to sit-sleep, but it's not necessary. Okay? Especially for Diego, I would not sit-sleep. Okay? if you come to the Chanchi, you may want to, especially left home people, you can try sit sleeping. But for lay people, I definitely would not recommend sit sleeping unless you plan to become a monk or a nun. Okay? Let's be clear about it. Okay, it's not for everyone. Sit sleeping also is a fantastic Dharma door that Master Shenhua shared with us. It's a fantastic, and it's reserved for people, for example, who are in seclusion. In the future, I will allow you to go into seclusion, both left home and lay people. You don't necessarily have to become a monk or nun, but you can go to our places and practice in seclusion, and then you may want to try sit sleeping. It's fantastic. Okay, you like it, and you like it to the point where you don't want to lie down to sleep anymore. This is why I mean, you're asking for trouble from your spouses. Okay, don't do that, please, if you're lay people. Anyone else? Yes, 4.
Master, when given fearlessness or just consoling others who are in fear, I think many people would naturally do this. They'll pat that person on the back and say, it's going to be okay.
Yes.
But none of us know that. So instead of lying?
No, actually it's not lying. It's comforting people. When I used to think that way too, by the way. I'm glad you asked the question. I used to, people, especially the Americans here, they come and say, they say, I don't know how, I forgot. Now all of a sudden I'm drawing a blank. They come and they tell you things are not as bad as you think. And I said, my first reaction is, you don't know that. How could you tell me with a straight face? Are you pulling my leg? But it's no. So I used to be turned off by that. But now I understand that as I meet more and more with you and listen to your problem and your issues, I realize actually very, very helpful. That it takes your mind off it because you're panicking. People are panicking. So sometimes you just have to say some stupid things to calm them down. Otherwise, you go crazy. Okay? And so, no, you're not lying. I think it's called expedient, but don't overdo it. Yes.
So Master, in my opinion, when you do that kind of thing, you should do it with a conviction, and at that point, it's not lying because it is going to be okay. It just depends on how your mind handles it. So to some extent, it is going to be okay. It just that person might not be seeing it, but
you may be right, but I don't look at it as results. I don't look at results. I don't look as truth and truthfulness, whatever. I look at it as an expedient. The giving of fearlessness is actually just an expedient. Because unless you have the wisdom and you can solve the problem, you really can't help. So you do whatever it takes to get the mind off the fear. That's all. That's to me, the giving of fearlessness is just get the mind off that gripping fear, that paralyzing fear that they have. That's all. Okay? Reduce the intensity and try to get them off. That's all. Because otherwise, they can't function anymore. They break down. Okay? And we're not trying to solve problems here. And we can't. We probably cannot solve the problem. All we are doing, the giving fearlessness at our levels, is basically reduce the intensity so that they can function. okay? And if you have real wisdom, you may, if that works, if it helps them, they feel the help, then the next step would be for you to help them solve the fear. But first things first, okay? I'm talking about very practical things. It's very important for you to give fearlessness because when you are fearful, you do stupid things. Very dangerous. When you allow yourself to become so fearful, you lose your clarity of mind. So that's why it's very important for us to help people when they're so fearful, okay? Or don't allow the fear to become paralyzing. That's important because that's when they have no more clarity of mind, okay? But at the high level, if you really are skilled, then you can solve their fearlessness. Because at the high level, fearlessness is actually a chance for them to improve quicker. Okay? But that's a different issue. So that's why I'm looking at giving fearlessness as two levels. The first level is what we all can do, okay? Relief, that's all we care about. We need relief. It's part of being human. At times, we cannot help ourselves. Our spouses cannot help himself, herself. And all we need to do is, give them that more room, more time, okay? And that's so important, so that maybe giving with dignity, they don't have to be a lesser person than they really are. Okay? That's very important. And if you can solve problems, that's even better for you. Okay? So I see giving fearlessness is something you can do right now. It's not only reserved for people who have wisdom at all. Okay? All right, we stop here today. Thank you all. See you next time.